Okay, hop in, my people. Let's talk about Elon Musk, AI, and why this will determine the next election, I believe. I'm going to give you evidence on how it's controlling the flow of information from the truth source all the way out to the audience is controlled by AI, which is just like it's just like the internet. Welcome to Doug and Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. We're going to start here with Sean Farash. This is going to be a weird place to start. I know. He's the guy that does this incredible imitation of Trump. He's really funny, really good. But he says the silver lining of the Middle East conflict is that MAGA is going through a healthy detox. A lot of people who appeared to be, quote, on our side have pulled the mask off and exposed themselves. So it's like what he's saying is it's like our group, MAGA, has been infiltrated by anti-MAGA. They're not on our side anymore, he says. Now, yesterday I did a video on Candace Owens turning against our troops and going way against Israel. The Candaces of the world wanted to hijack MAGA with like cancer hijacks the body. It is healthy for us to acknowledge this and react accordingly. Now, that's an opinion of his. I happen to think it's very interesting. And then I saw this New York Post headline, Rogue States, Russia and Iran attempting to destroy MAGA movement with disinformation bot army, a disinformation bot army. What does that mean? Well, one thing that AI and programming allows you to do is to send out thousands, maybe even millions of accounts that look like real people, but they're being programmed. They're bots. These particularly are programmed by Russia and Iran. And whoever uses AI or programs AI end up controlling the message and the way that it acts. That's why I want you and I to use AI. Do not be afraid of AI. It is just a tool. I keep saying it over and over again. Don't miss out on this, because I'm going to prove to you that the bad guys want you to not participate, okay? But this is about an army of disinformation spreading lies. In the case of Russia, it would be anti-Ukraine. In the case of Iran, it would be anti-Israel. And I've done these stats before on previous videos with you guys where I showed you how on the internet right now in Google queries and stuff like that, about 50% of internet traffic are AI bots going out and performing tasks. Some of them are lying and some of them are telling you the truth. These is extremely high stakes. Now, this is Sam Altman. He's the creator of OpenAI, which is a competitor to Elon Musk's Grok. And Elon Musk calls him evil. Evil Sam Altman. He despises him. And by the way, Trump did a big AI deal with Sam Altman to help his AI company do a lot of medical breakthroughs in America. But here he is talking about how Mark Zuckerberg, how big are the stakes? Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, for his AI company, tried to take one of Sam Altman's employees and offered him $100 million signing bonus.
Look, I've heard that Meta thinks of us as their biggest competitor. And I think it is rational for them to keep trying. Their current AI efforts have not worked as well as they've hoped, and I respect being aggressive and continuing to try new things. So
that's Mark Zuckerberg's Meta AI did not work as well as he had hoped.
And given that I think this is rational, I expect that if this one doesn't work out, they'll keep trying new ones after that. I remember once hearing Zuck talk about how Google in the early days of Facebook, it was rational for them to try social, even though it was clear to people at Facebook that was not going to work. And I feel a little bit similar here, but they started making these giant offers to, a lot of people on our team, $100 million signing bonuses, more than that comp per year.
That's crazy.
And it is crazy. I'm really happy that at least so far, none of our best people have decided to take them up on that. I think that people sort of look at the two paths and say, all right, OpenAI's got a really good shot, a much better shot at actually delivering on superintelligence, and also may eventually be the more valuable company. But I think the strategy of a ton of upfront guaranteed comp, and that being the reason you tell someone to join, really the degree to which they're focusing on that and not the work and not the mission. I don't think that's going to set up a great culture. And, I hope that we can be the best place in the world to do this kind of research.
Yeah, you're not. And you're evil. That doesn't make Mark Zuckerberg the good guy. But Sam Altman, I don't trust this guy farther than I can throw him. You can tell just by the way he's talking. This guy is high sales and high manipulation. Nothing like the happy, transparent Elon Musk and his team that are just known for their amazing work joy. Here's Elon Musk, which is XAI is the company. And Elon Musk put Twitter or X underneath XAI back in March.
I think these general principles of first principle thinking apply to software and hardware, apply to anything really. I'm just using kind of a hardware example of how we were told something is impossible, but once we broke it down into the constituent elements of we need a building, we need power, we need cooling, we need power smoothing, and then we could solve those constituent elements. But and then we just ran the networking operation to do all the cabling, everything.
Okay, so here he's talking about the hardware behind AI, how they have to build massive computing facilities with 100,000 GPUs, 100,000 computers all linked together to do computing, and how it. But this is where he's brilliant as a researcher. So just get through some of this tech mumbo jumbo. I want you to hear his messaging underneath of how pure his motive is in trying to build out a good AI. We're going to end this show. At the end, you'll see a big quote on that, but listen to this.
In 4 shifts, 24/7. And I was like sleeping in the data center and also doing cabling myself. And there were a lot of other issues to solve. Nobody had done a training run with 100,000 H100s training coherently last year. I mean, maybe it's been done this year, I don't know. But and then we ended up doubling that to 200,000. And so now we've got 150,000 H100s, 50K H200s, and 30K GB200s.
That's over 200,000 separate computers all linked together to do computing.
In the Memphis training center.
And that Memphis training center, they got one facility done, and the new one they just now proposed got sued by the NAACP and environmentalist groups. So right here in Tennessee, they're trying to stop the production of that second facility.
And we're about to bring 110,000 GB200s online at a second data center, also in the Memphis area.
Is it your view that pre-training still working and the scaling laws still hold, and whoever wins this race will have basically the biggest, smartest possible model that you could distill?
Well, there's of the various elements that decide competitiveness for large AI. There's for sure the talent of the people matter, the scale of the hardware matters, and how well you're able to bring that hardware to bear. So you can't just order a whole bunch of GPUs and you can't just plug them in. So you've got to get a lot of GPUs and have them train coherently and stably. Then it's like, what unique access to data do you have? I guess distribution matters to some degree as well. Like, how do people get exposed to your AI? Those are critical factors for if it's going to be like a large foundation model that's competitive.
He's trying to be competitive by being the number one tech thing and trying to topple that Sam Altman guy at the beginning. And Japan has DeepSeek or DeepThink or something like that. And he talked about sleeping on the floors. A billionaire, goes in and runs cable right along with his team. They work 24 hours a day. He has 4 crews that work 24 hours a day to get this work done. No one ever heard of the amount of work that they do. This is where he, I think, is light years, and his teams are known for being incredibly happy and kind. How do I know that? Here's one on, this is this Chamath guy who went and visited Elon Musk at Tesla, and he got to see how the teams work. These are the happiest employees in the world.
Here's what I'll say. I was sad at the end of last week. One is my friend and the other is my president. And it seemed like a really profound friendship. And so I was bummed. Here's what I'll say this week, though, on a much more positive note. I saw Elon on Tuesday, and I got to spend a couple hours with him at Tesla. He let me audit a couple of meetings with him, actually.
It's always fun. Yeah.
Yeah. One was Dojo. And then right after that was the Optimus team. One thing I'll say is
the Optimus team is the robot team. Elon's making personal use robots.
I've said this before, but he attracts these incredible men and women to work for him. They are inspiring. Just sitting in a meeting and hearing it, what they're doing was amazing. And then second, to see Elon in action at scale in that way is like watching a maestro paint a masterpiece. It's really impressive. And then separately, I saw President Trump doing a couple of pressers, and he was in his zone of excellence. So it seems like they're going to find some common ground here. They are better together. And I'll just say, Elon, amazing. Tesla, incredible. And I would not be sleeping on this company.
Do not sleep on this company. He's talking about as a stock buyer. Don't sleep on this company because it's going places. Some have guessed that they will 5x their stock price within 5 years and become the first $1 trillion company. So I'm not a stock advisor, obviously, but it's going places. The robot revolution and the AI revolution and the self-driving car revolution and the space exploration revolution is going to be ginormous and be more disruptive than the cell phone. Okay. Here he is giving Bloomberg some trouble. Elon on Bloomberg saying that XAI is burning $1 billion a month. This is Bloomberg goes, Elon Musk's artificial intelligence startup XAI is burning through $1 billion a month as costs pile up. And Elon Musk says they don't. Also, Bloomberg is talking nonsense. So he just flat out shuts them down on that. Now here's Elon Musk on working closely with AI and how he has integrated his different
whether we
companies.
do it or whether Tesla does it, Tesla works closely with XAI. Like you've seen how many humanoid robot startups are there. Like it's like, I think Jensen Huang was on stage with a massive number of robots, robots from different companies.
There are over 12 different personalized robot companies. They're going to be used in nursing. They're going to be used for lawn care. They're going to be used in manufacturing. It's ginormous what they're going to do. It's going to take a while. It's coming. It's an inevitability. But he talks about being a little bit afraid, too, of what they could do.
I think there was like a dozen different humanoid robots. I mean, I guess, part of what I've been fighting and maybe what has slowed me down somewhat is that I'm a little, I don't want to make Terminator real.
He doesn't want to make Terminator real. That's one of the things that slows him down. The movie Terminator 2 was about a robot and machines that took over all of the earth because they became self-aware or artificially intelligent. He is aware that there could be serious problems with robots. It does not mean that you don't make them. He's also aware that AI is an even bigger threat, artificial intelligence. But listen to his answer here. I think you'll agree.
At least until recent years, dragging my feet on AI and humanoid robotics, and then I sort of come to the realization it's happening whether I do it or not. So you got really two choices: you could either be a spectator or a participant. And so I guess I'd rather be a participant than a spectator. So now it's pedal to the metal on humanoid robots and digital superintelligence.
So that is my ethic that I've been telling you guys too. That's why I'm saying to all of you, do not back out of AI. Use grok.com or go to Grok on Twitter, ask it anything you want, it'll answer you. It is because it is going to happen and it is going to come. It is going to be the major industry, the most powerful tool in the world. You can either be a spectator and let everyone else do whatever they want, and then you'll just have to go along with it. Or you can be a participant and drive whether the tool is being used with morality, patriotism, work ethic, good ideas, helping good people. I'm on board with that because I believe the tool itself is neutral. Now, on the tool itself, remember how I said whoever programs it masters the tool, and that is super important. Here's where Elon Musk separates Grok. The way that he wrote his AI is different than the morality of all of the other AIs, like evil Sam Altman's AI or Zuckerberg's AI. Listen to what Elon Musk said and tell me if you agree with this on how he programmed it.
Create a maximally truth-seeking AI.
Maximally truth-seeking.
Which may sound obvious, but that's what I'm seeing being produced is not maximally truth-seeking. It tends to be trained to be politically correct. And for a lot of the AIs that are being trained in the San Francisco Bay Area, they have taken on the philosophy of the people around them, which kind of makes sense. So
It's the same thing that San Francisco did to the internet with their censorship. They did with their AI. And that's part of why Elon Musk calls that Sam Altman guy so evil.
you have sort of a woke, nihilistic, in my opinion, philosophy that is being built into these AIs. And they're being taught to say crazy things in some cases that are very troubling. Like when Google Gemini came out, people asked whether it is more, which is worse, misgendering Caitlyn Jenner or global thermonuclear war? And it said misgendering Caitlyn Jenner.
So it said misgendering a trans person is worse than global thermonuclear war. That's what I mean by the ethics and morals. And Grok does not do that. Elon Musk is trying to protect it and keep going back into the program to make sure that it is maximum truth seeking, not political opinion. That's why I think it's relatively safe for us to use. I know I still get all the comments down below. I don't want to use it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You can choose to be a spectator. We are going to choose to be participants. And I want you guys to know, even if you don't use it, I want to educate you on what's happening and what is going to run everything in the future, especially the next election. Maximum truth-seeking AI will only benefit MAGA. I'm Doug in Exile. What do you think? Will you use AI?